them small church pack power, baby, when you go through that. The prayers be in elementary school who is suffering with depression, who is suffering from suicidal thoughts, guys. And you might think it might not be you sit down and eat, your phone should be off. You should be having a conversation with your parents, not sitting on the phone playing games and being on Facebook or TikTok or whatever they're doing. I just want you guys to be mindful. And I wanted to stop to say that today that, yes, I struggle with stuff like that. It's not every day, but I do have those dark days, when life is really lifing and your mind is overwhelmed with things that's happening, not only in your personal life, but your workspace. Then you have people that you're responsible for. Like me, I'm responsible for people's paycheck, and I'm responsible for people's movement in life, how they pay their bills. And if I make the wrong move, I can ruin other people's lives. So that is pressure within itself, and being able to balance what I do for a living and into my own personal life. So I wanted to just, do a huge shout out for mental health for the month of May. Like I said, I'm going to put Pastor Morrison's information in the chat so that you guys can have that information. And please do, you will dial the number because there's a number attached to there. You will dial the number. You can get prayer from them. You can call. Just dial the number. You can call, or you can call too to ask Pastor Morrison and his team when will they be having the next drive-through prayer. And if you need it, they will be right there on 87th Street praying for folks. And like I said, traffic was just stopped because that's how many people actually needed prayer. So I am so happy to hear that. I'm happy that people's lives was changed. I'm happy to see that people felt delivered at that moment, that, they could touch and agree with somebody who is laboring for the Lord to make sure that their prayers are answered. So I appreciate that, Pastor Morrison, if you're listening. I also wanted to talk about, I got my guest, Samantha Jordan, who has an extraordinary story. And I want ladies to really pay attention, men too, because men, we forget about our men, and our men suffer a lot from mental, from physical, because a lot of them don't go to the doctor like they should, not get their prostate checked, checked as they should. Men get breast cancer too, right? So these are things that I want you guys to really hear from Samantha Jordan. I've been knowing Samantha since she was a little girl. She's a beautiful woman now. And to have this story, I did not know that she went through that. And I want you guys to listen to this story. But I'm going to start something before I introduce Michele. Like I said, Michele is a returning guest. I had a scare, right? I had went to have, when you're in your 50s, you start in your 40s. You go and you have a mammogram, right? And the mammograms are, I want to just say this. I know women, we have a lot of concerns, but it's nothing like a concern when you waiting on your results from your mammogram. That is like the worst feeling in the world, to wait on the results from a mammogram. And I know my faith is in the Lord, and I know that either way it happened, I was going to be okay, right? But it's just the matter of a concern that can become a reality less than like a second, just from somebody walking to you with a piece of paper and reading your results, right? So I went to the doctor as normal. You go every year. And I went and got my mammogram. And they said, oh, Michele, you got to come back in 6 months. I'm like, wait, what? Why do I have to come back in 6 months? Well, in some cases, it could be the skin is thin. It could be the density of the breast. And I know a man had to create the machine, because I know ain't no woman put that machine together for us to put our breast in this machine and squeeze it like it's there. Because I was standing there. I went to the doctor Wednesday, and I had to go back. This was my 6th month. And I was so concerned that week. I knew it was coming. I knew that they wanted to follow up on something that they saw on my left breast. And I went, and the nurse, let me tell you something, to be in healthcare, you got to be called to be in healthcare, right? Because she could look in my face, and even though I was smiling, you could tell that I was disturbed, right? So I do the test, and it's a different kind of test. It's not the regular mammogram. It's like an ultrasound. Like, they go really deep in this test. And I'm standing there. I go, and she said, well, Michele, just sit outside and wait for your results. I promise to God, it seemed like I sat there for like 5 hours. The length of me sitting there, because they don't let you get dressed. So you know, they might have to go back, take you back in. You might have to go speak to the doctor. Like, that is the worst result ever. I just, every time I go, I just get really nervous. And she comes out, and when she comes out, she has these two papers, right? And I just instantly start crying. I was so, like, I felt that God had me, but here's the thing: we still live, we still have emotions, and at that moment, either way, your life could have changed, right? It could have been like a yes, or it could have been like a no or a maybe, right? So she comes to me and she says, "Michele, the results are still the same. We're gonna bring you back another 6 months." So it wasn't like I rejoiced in that moment because the test was still consistent as the first test, but now I have another 6 months, right? So it wasn't like saying, okay, go home, see you later. Everything is good. We found out what the problem was. It's more like, hey, this is what you have right now. And I believe in God that it's going to be consistent. It's just that at that moment, guys, I don't know if anybody has ever felt that, but I felt that. And I'm saying all this to say that life changes, right? And the level of expectation of being a woman, because Mother's Day coming up. Yes, guys, I'm about to say it. Yes, to say it. We go through so many changes in our bodies that sometimes it's not even privy to us. We don't even know we're walking with it. You know, we don't have breast cancer in my family, but I'm constantly going back now for 6 months on the left breast because they want to try to find balance in this test, right? So in that, you still in the back of your mind, it's like, okay, I know God got me either way, but how do we resolve that? How do we deal with that? So I'm going to bring on Samantha. Samantha Jordan have a story, guys, that for what I felt was so concerning, that my life could be altered within somebody walking to me and giving me my results for my mammogram. She received some results, right, from a different kind, but I want her to explain what mood she was in, how was she thinking, and then life happened. So I'm going to introduce Samantha. Samantha Jordan is an entrepreneur. She is a person who has lived through cancer, and at her age, and I'm gonna let her tell you who she is. And we think that as we get older, oh, we got all the time in the world, right? You don't feel like, we feel like when you in your 20s, you feel like you're gonna live forever, right? You feel like, hey, I can mess up in the world, and that's what we do. I was 20, Lord, I'm glad I didn't moved on to my 50s, but whew, Lord, thank you. But we all think we're gonna live, forever in our 20s. But life starts to happen, and things that you never thought that were dormant in your body starts to reveal itself. And sometimes it don't even have to be genetics for you to even get it, right? So I'm gonna let Samantha speak to you guys about the concern that I had and the reality that she experienced. It's Samantha Jordan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys, yeah, I'm Samantha Jordan, and I'm a 1-year cancer survivor. In January 2023, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and it became stage 3 because it metastasized from my neck to my thyroid to my chest. So prior to that, I had been arguing with my doctor for 3 years. I had been arguing with her because I started to feel a decline in my health. And I told her my concerns. I said, I'm extremely tired. I'm just tired all the time. I'm tired. I don't have any energy. And I was normally the type of person who, if I got too much sleep, I get a sleep headache. Like I operated on maybe 5 hours, no more than 6 hours of sleep. And I was needing like 9, 10 hours of sleep. Like I was extremely tired. And then I began to gain a lot of weight and started having aches and pains. And I would tell my doctor this issue, and she'd be say, "Oh, you're a couple of years away from 40, so you're getting older." And I'd be like, it still seemed like I shouldn't be feeling, like I'm really getting old, like old, like in my like 90s or something. And she said, oh, it happens. And so the first time she did that, I was like, well, okay. But then as it progressed, and I told her the next visit, something is wrong. I feel it. Something is not right within my body. And she challenged me, well, what about your lifestyle? You could be eating all this junk food. I eat healthy. I'm a plant-based eater. I'm a yoga teacher. I juice. So I was like, I don't see how that could come from my lifestyle. I'm hurting. I'm having issues. I'm having pains in my body. Something is going wrong. Can you please give me a complete physical, like a blood work, to see what is going on in the inside of my body? Because I know something doesn't feel right. She still continued to argue with me. This went on for so long, until I was in so much pain and so tired, and really wasn't even like living life. I was barely making it to work. I was just extremely tired, until I had a conversation with my mom and my best friend, and they said, email her and tell her, if you do not give me a full physical with blood work included to eliminate any chronic illnesses, please document it in my chart that you're refusing this, because I'm telling you that I have serious concerns that something is wrong with my body and I'm having these pains. She called me the next day at 7:30 in the morning, said, can you come in? And I went in, and she finally did the physical, but then she said, oh, your neck does look a kind of big. So let's just, I'm pretty sure it's maybe nothing, but let's just go and get an ultrasound just to make sure that it's okay. And I didn't think nothing of it either. And so when the ultrasound come back, she said, we did see something really concerning. We saw this large lump that went from your throat all the way down to your neck, and we couldn't go any further because they just did an ultrasound on my neck. And she said, we also saw some lymph nodes as well too, and we need to do a biopsy. Now I have to be honest, I didn't know anything about a biopsy. I never, heard of, I never really paid attention to any of this. And I asked her what the biopsy was. She said, well, it's really to, see if you have some cancerous cells. And I was like, do you think that this could be it? She said, I just know that you have a huge lump in your neck. And I think that we need to get a biopsy. And everything happened so fast from there. So I got a biopsy, and it came back that it was cancer. And she was really concerned. And she said, you need to call a specialist and get with one immediately, because, your biopsy came back with a lot of cancerous cells, and you need to get with someone as soon as possible. I got with someone the next morning. And when I went to see the specialist, we did a CT scan. And when that came back, he told me, he said, he said, when you came through the door, I saw your neck and it was obvious something was wrong. He said, I don't know how your doctor missed this. Your neck is huge. He said, I seen it coming through the door. And based on my CT scan and ultrasound and everything, he said, this has been growing in you for about 3 years. And I said, that's the length of the time I've been arguing with my doctor, telling her that something's not right. I don't feel good. I'm not even looking good too at this point. I'm tired. He said, this has grown for so long that I'm sorry, Samantha, this has metastasized to your chest. And so we may have to do radiation, and we may have to do chemo. Now, I tell you, for a young lady like me who's very holistic, I was really sad and depressed, because number one, I never thought that I would get cancer. I'm sitting up thinking I'm doing everything to prevent that from happening in my life. I'm eating healthy. I'm doing yoga. I'm taking care of myself. I'm exercising. I'm meditating. And I never thought that I would ever, get cancer. And for him to say that I may have to take radiation and chemo, I was hurt, and I was devastated. And it hurt me on another level too, because during this whole time, because I was so in tune with my body and trying to make sure that everything was good, my fiance I was trying to start a family. So I was like, I have to pause. Like right before we were getting ready to start a treatment, this is when I got diagnosed. So it seemed like so much hit me at once. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting ready to be 41. We were getting ready to, really start trying to have our family start this treatment. And I have to pause this and deal with this situation. Is this going to affect me even having a child? And, my specialist let me know, like, you take radiation, you won't be able to have a child for a year because the radiation will be in your system. You take chemo, it could damage your ovaries. And I was in a dark place. I have to be honest. I'm like, oh, wow. I don't feel like my life will be complete if I don't become a mom. This was heartbreaking to me. And I had my surgery actually last June. I still have like a little bit of a scar, but I did actually opt out of getting radiation and chemo, and I prayed to God because I said, God, my heart, my true desires to be a mom, and I just don't want to jeopardize that. And I talked to God and saying, I'm going to do my part in trying to be healthy, get better, and fight through this. Can you help me fight through this, and be able to heal in such a way that I can still be able to become a mom. And I've been doing good, really good now with that. But I had my surgery in June, and my specialist, when he came out, he was also my surgeon. He said that was one of the biggest tumors he ever saw in someone's neck. He said it was one of the biggest. He said it was so huge. And one thing that he tried not to do, because at first he was going to have to break my collarbone to get down to the tumor. And I was like, is there any way you cannot do that? And he was saying, I may have to crack some of your breast bones. He was like, it's huge, Samantha. I got to try to get it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so painful and dangerous. And he was like, it is. He said, because this tumor is 1 inch from your heart. So, he was like, but I gotta get it. And so he was able to cut it into pieces. My surgery lasted so long to be able to get the tumor out. So thank God for that. God was definitely leading his hand. And I also had a heart surgeon that was with him too, to be able to cut the tumor into pieces and get it out. I've been doing really well since the surgery. I had to have my whole thyroid removed, and then come to find out with the removal of the thyroid cancer was affecting my fertility all along. So because the thyroid was dead and only was operating at 10%, it was not giving me enough hormones to signal my body to let's have a baby. Because what a lot of people don't know is that little butterfly in your throat, that thyroid, controls so much of your body. It really, really does. It controls your reproductive system. It produces calcium. It breaks down your sugar. It releases hormones to your brain. It does a lot of things. So when your thyroid is out of whack, your whole body is out of whack. You're not balanced at all. So that was one of the issues that was contributing to my fertility challenges. My specialist was like, this is why you weren't conceiving, Samantha. Your thyroid was dead. It was just lingering in your body, and it wasn't signaling your body to even produce a child. So just hearing that and thinking about how I was arguing with my doctor about my health, who I'm paying, ultimately saying, hey, something is wrong. And she knew that I was trying to become a mother too. Something is wrong. Like, I know something is going on. I feel it mentally. And I even told her one time, I feel it mentally, spiritually, and physically. Something is not okay inside of me. Can you please give me a complete physical? And for this woman to continue to deny me, I just felt so angry, so upset, so hurt that my voice wasn't heard, and that this could have been resolved, so much long ago, that it didn't even have to get to the point or where maybe I lost my thyroid, or maybe it metastasized to my chest. I didn't have to go through any of these things if she would have heard me and listened to me the very first time that I came to her and said, I'm hurting, I'm tired, this is not normal for me. Can you please see what's going on and run some tests, and let's see what's possibly, happening and going on. So I've been on, advocacy of not only just sharing my story, but also joining movements too, but talking to groups of other Black women, about how we got to advocate. And even it was unfortunate, I had to threaten her,
Mhm.
to get her to hear me, to
Mhm.
get her to say, oh, and it was it was kind of even too, even when I went to the doctor, I saw your message, so fine, I'll go ahead and, do your physical. Like, it was such a big deal. Like, like I just didn't matter to her. So I think definitely, appealing even to Congress, like, this is out of control when you can't sit up and be able to communicate with your doctor about how you feel, and they're kind of battling you, saying, no, this is this. That's one thing to me. You can't battle with the person and telling them what they feel or experience.
That's right.
You can't tell me that's not a lie or anything. I'm telling you what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing pain. I'm experiencing fatigue, and what I'm feeling. And you tell me that that's not what you're feeling. This is age. Oh, this is your lifestyle. Oh, you may be overworking yourself. Oh, you may be doing this. You're giving me everything in the book instead of listening to what I'm truly saying to you and saying, I hear you, and we're going to run some tests and see what's happening and going on, because the doctor told me, if you would have waited 3 to 6 months, that would have reached your heart. You would have been at stage 4, and it would have been nothing we can do about it. It would have been nothing. So I still even wrestle with this because it's still new. This all happened last year. I'm still in recovery because the surgery was so intense that it did damage some muscles around my chest. So I've had to really pace myself on walking and getting back into trying to work out, exercise. Actually, last month was the first time I did yoga because I would get extreme chest pains because it was my muscles are rebuilding itself around my heart.
Right.
So I still, I'm pacing myself, but I was able for the first time to do yoga in such a long time since my diagnosis. I'm still eating healthy and eating good, and I go to my doctors about every 3 to 6 months. And the team that I have now is amazing. They listen to me, they hear me, they empathize with me, and they didn't even argue with me when I said I would like to try holistic measures. I don't want to do radiation or chemo. I would like to first, you know, try to see if I can do this myself with the help of God and just eat healthy, take care of myself. And I even told them, if it gets to a point where that's my last resort, I may consider it. But first, let me try. Let me try this. And you know what they told me? They said, we support you in your decision and what you would like to do, because this is your journey. And we don't want you to feel uncomfortable. So I have an amazing team of doctors. I no longer have that doctor either. I actually have a Black woman who's my doctor who hears my concerns. If I say that I don't feel well, she hears me. And I actually interviewed her because that's how I feel at this moment. I need to interview doctors. And when I interviewed her, I said, I'm interviewing you because I need to see if we're a good fit. And I gave her scenarios. If I come to you and say, my head has been hurting me tremendously, and, I don't know what this is, what would you say to me? I asked those questions because I needed to know what she would do, because I don't need another doctor in my life that would sit up and ignore me, because that could lead to my mortality. I don't need that.
Absolutely.
So I'm very careful now and very intentional about my healthcare providers.
Let me ask you this, Sam. Did you actually, but first of all, I am so proud of you. Like, I am so proud of the fight, though. You know, how you, even though you felt like something was wrong, and I said this on my last show about medical doctors. First of all, she should be held accountable. It should, I mean, I think I will be accountable with her. I think every, I would be reporting her to the medical board for real. Because by you delaying this the way you did, and then I had to actually put this in an email to show that it was a problem in the first place, and you ignored me, that's a problem for anybody. It could be anybody that she's done this to,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't survive, right? Because we really don't know. We just know she has a pattern. And to me, that's a pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I think she should be held accountable, seriously. I think she shouldn't be practicing, because if you endure something like that, like you had to go through, there's no way that she should get a slap on the wrist. Oh, I will be on her heels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And two, I think we should advocate. I think we should be advocating for each other as far as Black women. And Michelle and I had a conversation last week about why it's the fear of African Americans going to the doctor, right? It's the fear. It's always the experiment, right? And they don't hear you. They don't hear you until you act a fool, literally. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that child. Yeah, because I have to go there with you in order for, I'm paying you. This ain't free,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's coming out of my check, right? So I just told Michelle that I got billed because when I get a physical, when I was young, when we used to go to the doctor, we was at the doctor all day. They did everything. They ran every test. She was there before they filled out your school paperwork, right? I mean, we was there all day, right? Now, the doctor come in for maybe 20 minutes. They come in, they check your back, check your chest, breathe, check your blood pressure, whatever, and out the door. But you have to say, "Oh, wait. I need my blood work. I
Mm-hmm.
want everything. I want everything." Well, then when I got everything, they billed me for it. So I told Michelle last time she was on the show, I get a bill because number one, you asked me, your vitamin D might be low, or your vitamin C, or you asking me these questions. I'm asking you for the test, but to make sure that my stuff is low, right? And then you give me a bill. You just told me that I needed it, but you give me a bill. Like, the medical field to me is just tainted, right? It's tainted. I'm gonna be honest. Everybody is not called to lay hands, right? To heal. God gave people talent to be in the medical field, right? Sometimes when they tell you to do, most of the times when you feel that they have empathy and they are called to do what they do, they are more immersed in your health. They're gonna do it regardless, if you ask them or not. If I call my doctor right now and say, "Hey, Dr. Thomas, yeah, my hip hurt," she on it, right? Or my knee hurt, whatever it is, she emerged in your healing, right? She wants to make sure that the things that she's doing, is effective overall, right? So I salute you for that. And let me ask you a question. So, do you mind sharing some of the things that was like symptoms? I think that sometimes with women, we equate everything is because we work so much, and we do so much in our families. We always, girl, I'm just tired. I just need to rest. No, sometimes the body is sending a signal like, hey, girl, I'm hurting for the next, I've been hurting for the last 3 months in this same area. I think you need to go check this out. Like, literally, like I just told Michelle, I was lifting weights, right? I'm doing weight strength training. You healthy, right? You working out, you eating right. And I hurt my back. So I go to the doctor. They do a, CAT scan, because I'm literally, that lower back muscle was hurting me so bad. And come to find out, I had a virus in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, I got a what? And he said it so candidly, like, "Hey, oh yeah, you had a virus in your heart." I'm like, wait. I'm here for my back. What are you talking about? No empathy, no explanation, and I panicked in emergency. I panicked. So got with my doctor. They shut the whole thing down. No workout, no walk, no this, no that. They had to figure out what is this virus, right? And it took me 2 years to figure out what the virus was, right? And I say that, and I say it because you could be doing everything right, and God, in His mercy and His grace, will let something else happen in order for you to get to the place where you need to be, so they can diagnose you with the thing, so they can get that healed. You don't even know you have it because you think you're doing everything right. You think you're coming home. And like I said, a lot of women, we do it all the time. We always equate working hard, taking care of kids, everyday life, and always saying, oh, we're just tired. Oh, we just need a rest. No, no. Sometimes you need to really go deep, and sometimes you need to run the blood work. You do all you can do. And then I'm telling you, when your body sends you that signal and we ignore it, God in His grace and mercy literally will send something else to happen in order for you to get the healing that you need for that particular organ or, ailment in the body that needs to be healed. So, Samantha, can you share with us? And Michele, I'm gonna have you chime in too. Like, you can chime in anytime. And I know you hear about the thyroid issue. Can you just talk about the symptoms? Like, I know you said you were tired. Is there other things that was happening other than just being tired that made you think about, once you realized you had thyroid cancer?
I mean, even before, like as I started, like say 3 years before getting really sick, when I was trying to have a child, I went through everything with my fertility team, and they was like, we don't know. We don't know. And I did find, and I know that unexplained fertility can happen, but I just found it to be really awkward and strange. I really did. And I felt within me like, man, something is up. Like something is up. Something's going on. Because I remember my fertility doctor told me, he said, well, you have so many eggs that you have enough to give away. Like for a woman your age, you have tons of eggs. So he was like, so that's a wonderful thing. And he said, everything looks wonderful and healthy. He was like, I don't understand it. And I just thought that, well, this is strange. What's really going on? But with that too, I was just, when I say, I don't even know how to, I was just extremely tired. Like I didn't have a lot of energy for a lot of things. Like I made it to work, but I was tired. I wasn't my normal, bubbly, energetic self. It was as almost if something just had been taken out of me. Like, to be honest, I was really existing a lot and not living because I was just that tired, which being that tired actually had me somewhat depressed because I'm like, what is wrong? Like, why am I so tired? Why am I feeling so weak? And I felt weak. I felt really, really weak. And it didn't seem to matter if I worked out or not. I just felt weak, even drinking green juice, and I felt weak. And I
Right.
took a lot of healthy green juice. And I went from 123 pounds to 160 pounds. Now I can gain weight. I've always been able to gain and lose weight all my life, but I've, get in there and really work this out. And I would drop it. But when I tell you for my diagnosis, because I was like, okay, we getting this weight off because this is just too much for my small frame because I'm 5 feet. I
Right.
drank watermelon juice the whole summer. I drank a gallon of water. I ate fresh fruits and vegetables. I had like salad because I don't like to cook in the summer. I ate salad, chickpea salad, all type of healthy stuff. Worked out every day, and I gained. And that's what I said, how was that
Right.
possible? When I'm drinking a gallon of water, I'm drinking watermelon juice. I'm talking about no salt, no, because I don't drink soda, none of those other juices. I'm really eating raw and clean and healthy. And I gained 15 pounds. I said, this is wrong. This is not right. And she told me, well, when you start turning 40, you just gain weight out of nowhere. I said, no. I said, my mom is in her 60s and she just dropped like 20 pounds eating healthy. That doesn't sound good. That does not
Right.
sound right at all. So that weight gain to me was a big alarm that something was really, really going on in the inside of my body. And I had a lot of chest pains that were just unexplained. I would sometimes be at work and I just have to pause and I just have to breathe through it. And I didn't know what was going on with that. So those were a lot of my symptoms. And I had body aches, just random body aches, just random body aches. Yeah. That was
So would that be considered, I'm sorry, Sam, would that be considered as an underactive thyroid or overactive thyroid? That would be a underactive thyroid, right?
for
When you produce the
actually
weight.
with the thyroid cancer, he said it was just dead. He was like, it was dead in me because it got infected with the a cancerous tumor.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So it
Okay.
was by the time I got to him. So I don't even know within those 3 years whether it was over, under, or what was going on, because when I got with him, he was like, your thyroid is operating at 10%. It's already, because I was crying because I didn't want an organ taken from my body. You know, I'm like, I don't want to lose my thyroid. Can we do something to save this? And he was like, it's already gone. He was like, your thyroid is dead. That's why it's not working. That's why you're gaining weight. That's why you're tired. That's why you're having all these issues. Your thyroid's dead. It's 10%. He was like, it's nothing that we would be able to do to save it. If we would have caught this earlier, we probably could have saved your thyroid, but it's way too late. This tumor has inflamed your thyroid so much that I didn't know it at the time, because I was gaining weight. And I think just like a lot of people, when you gain weight, you think, you know, it's all over my body. So I'll be honest, I really thought like when my neck had got big too, because I didn't got big, you know, myself. So I didn't pay attention to my neck. You know, we're always taught, you know, especially as women, to check our breasts and things like that. But, you know, we don't even, we don't just check our necks and say, okay, let me see if my neck is
Right. Like I never,
here. Yeah.
right. You never just,
Yeah,
you
because
don't.
he handed me a mirror and he said, Samantha, look. He said, look at, and when he showed me, you could see the imprint of it. And I told him, I said, I just thought I got big all over. He said, no, that's not normal. He said, feel it. He said, this is a tumor. He said, this is big. He said, your neck, he said, no matter how much weight you gain, your neck is not supposed to be like, he said, and it's protruding outward. It's protruding out. He said, that's not normal. It's not normal at all. So yeah, my thyroid was gone to even determine, you know, where it was at before, you know, I lost it.
Michele, I know being in your field, you could chime in. I know being in your field, this is like really, and it affects Black women. You know, it affects Black women. 45% of women are dealing with thyroid cancer, and just any ineffective thyroid. Could you tell me, Michele, like some of the areas of, sometimes it's not even hereditary, you know, in that field where you have a thyroid cancer. So is it anything like from the public side of health that not even just Black women, but we do face a lot of these kind of ailments, and I don't even understand why. I mean, we do, we face a lot. We know we carry the highest heart disease. I mean, we carry so much, and I don't know if it's genetic, if it's just something that's in our bodies that we generate these certain type of cells. I just wanted to, wanted you to elaborate on that a little bit more.
So, I mean, just as far as like certain nutrients that, you know, have been known to help the thyroid. So we're talking about like iron, getting that from, you know, chicken, fish, lentils, things like that. Selenium, one of the best sources of selenium is Brazil nuts. Zinc, you know, you can get that from lentils and, you know, other protein, but those are like some of like, you know, some of the main ones. We definitely all need to make sure that our vitamin D is checked. Definitely we need to get that checked. Most Americans do tend to have a lower vitamin D. So making sure that is checked. you know, for those of us that, you know, that have darker skin, we're not able to absorb the amount of vitamin D from the sun, from versus someone that is Caucasian, or, you know, or fairer skin. So we actually need to make sure that we have adequate, you know, adequate vitamin D. And if the doctor says to take the supplement, we need to take it on a regular basis and make sure that it gets checked to make sure that those levels go up. Because vitamin D, even though we can consider it like a vitamin, it's really a hormone, and it controls so many different things in our body. And I know especially in the Black community, you know, that is a big concern. Going back to, you know, really health, you know, in general, you know, Samantha, I so much commend you for being your own advocate. So many times, I mean, the job that I have now and previous previous positions, so many times we're told that we have this, and due to either lack of knowledge, you know, afraid, which makes sense, and also not even having adequate health insurance prevents us from actually getting the care that we need. We have too few, whether it be physicians or nurse practitioners that don't look like us. Research does show that the more, even there was one study that showed even if Black or African Americans lived in a county, even if they didn't see that a Black doctor in their own county, just by them knowing that there was a Black doctor that looked like them, their health outcomes were better, just by living in that same county.
Mm-hmm.
African American or Black physicians, we have to be our own advocate, because doctors aren't listening to us, and we need to be an advocate like Samantha is, you know, speaking out against it, letting other people know, and figuring out what we need to do to take care of ourselves.
And I think having just platforms to be authentic, you know, it's okay to have podcasts, and we doing gossip, and we talk about everybody else's lives and what's going on, and who cheating on who, and who doing what to other people. But we got real situations out here that affects households, right? That affects people's way of living. And I just think that just having conversations about breast cancer or potential breast cancer, or just, you know, things that affect our bodies, whether it's fibroid tumors. You know, we don't talk about fibroids. We don't talk about hysterectomies. We don't talk about the ovarian cancers. We don't talk about things that literally affect our bodies, and the symptoms that somebody else can tell you about might save your own life, right? You might not know. Now I never knew to start pressing on my neck, right? We press our breasts in the shower. Oh, press your breast. Make sure you're up under water. Make sure you press up on your arm. We do that as little girls. We taught to, you know, look at our breasts. So that, to me, that's what a concern is. You know, you get the concern when you got to take the test and when you get the results back, because we condition young to check our breasts. That's the first thing the doctors do. They lay you, when you go for your physical, they lay you on your back, they check your breast, right? Nobody checks your throat. Nobody asks you, are you hoarse? Like, if you hear somebody hoarse all the time, you question that, right? Because that's a symptom, right? They can get hoarse, they voice, they throat, they swollen. Like, you want to be able to look at somebody and say, hey, girl, you ain't looking too good. Or you press the issue of, if you go to the doctor and you still feel the same way when you went to the doctor 3 days later, there's a problem. Something is not right. And you make them, that's why I said in the last show, sometimes you got to have people that advocate with you. So that means when you go to the doctor, you taking somebody else to the doctor with you, somebody that's going to be really pressing and get on their nerves. because you let the doctors know, just like my mom being sick, well, she was just a doctor, in hospital. You just want them to know she's not the only person just laying here. Like, I'm going to ask you questions because that's my mother. And I'm going to get on your nerve because I want you to know we talked on the phone and I'm going to hold you accountable. Because if you mess up over questions that we were asking, I'm going to hold you accountable. And just like me, if I do something wrong on my job and I mess up something that caused, one of my kids or my workers to be hurt, they're going to hold me accountable for that. That should be accountability in medicine. When you pre-diagnose somebody and it's the wrong diagnosis, and you diagnose with this and it come out to be this, well, what are you interning? Did you cheat on a test to become a doctor? Like, what is it? Because people's lives is in your hand. And I feel that, just not being in medicine, but the field that I'm in, I just spoke about the pressure of not being able to, I'm accountable for people's lives when they paying their mortgage, when they paying their car notes, when they picking up kids with their kids. And I'm accountable for that. So if I feel that, sense of empathy for somebody else, people that supposed to be blessed to have those healing hands, or the gift to be able to, heal our bodies. God heals our body, but give them the education to know what works and how the organs work. I just think it just needs to be some accountability. Like I said, Samantha, I commend you. Now for me, I'm going to start checking areas because I didn't even know that I was supposed to. That is crazy. Like, I did not even know that you supposed to be checking or looking at their outer appearance and their neck and say, hey, your neck look funny to me. Calling it out when you know that it's something that separate. You see one part of it and then you see another. You're like, no, weight gain is different, right? Weight gain it's different. It doesn't protrude like that, right? It doesn't alter the body to a point where it just looks like something is literally wrong. So I commend you for that, and just having these conversations today. Everybody, I just wanted to open up if you have questions. I'm looking at my chat. I don't see everybody's questions, Lawrence. If you see any questions out there, because I want to make sure too, guys, that you support Samantha. Samantha is an entrepreneur and she is spreading this, right? This conversation is just not a conversation on the Mz-Parkah Show. This is a conversation that Samantha is having. Like, this is a story that needs to be written down, and publicized, right? Like, literally, because you have medical physicians that are not being accountable for your health. Even though you pay them for their experience or their expertise, some of them may not be giving you all what you need 100% to live. And you want to be mindful of that. People that are not pouring into you and trying to heal your body, you need to get away from them, report them. I've done it. I've reported people that did not do what they were supposed to do. I sure have. And I'm going to continue to do that, right? I just feel like their job is a lot more dangerous than mine. And I feel like sometimes you can alter people's lives, right? So if you guys have any questions for Michele, I know that everybody had thousands of questions for Michele when she was on the last show, and I wasn't able to see the comments. I can open up the phone lines. You guys can give us a call. You can ask Samantha some questions. Like I said, I put Samantha's information in the chat for ordering some of her products, the things that she has. She's doing yoga. She's spreading her word of healing, right? Things that she's doing to self-heal herself, things that you might want to try, some things that she's doing to, better the process for her. Because everything doesn't require, chemicals, right? Everything doesn't require you to go through that. Not saying that if needed, it wouldn't happen. But at this point right now, just believe in the word of God, right? And believing that, he provides that healing. He's the healer, right? And so if you guys have any questions or you want to call in to Samantha and Michele, I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. I am trying to really look at my chat right now to see if I'm seeing any questions. And it usually don't post for me until afterwards. Let me see. Hold on one second. Lawrence, are you able to see anything? Because I can't see it. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. So it's 20 questions, but I can't see the questions. Answer your questions on anything that you wanted to know about vitamin it is. And I think Lawrence, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you? I see 20. I see 20 comments, but I can't see them. That was the issue last time, not being able to see them. Thank you for sharing. So I got a comment from Linda. She just said, "Thank you for sharing. Knowledge is power." I got a comment from Linda. She just said, "Thank you." Can you read the comments, Lawrence? Because I'm getting the echo from me. This comment's there, guys. I'm just trying to get to them without hearing me talk. Because I'm live and I'm going to go to my live chat trying to see. Let me see if I go to Facebook.
I do see one where someone said when your doctor doesn't listen to you, you should change your doctors. I would say with this too, for a minute, especially due to pandemic, I did want to change my doctor. However, I was stuck with that doctor because of the current insurance at that time. So trust and believe me, if I could have changed her very quickly the first time that I said my concerns to her and her response, I would have changed her. Sometimes, you know, that does happen when you're at a place of employment and you're in a certain network and in a certain community, you do have this doctor. So I did want to change doctors. And when I did switch to another job, I got a new doctor. I mean, and of course, you know, during that time frame, it was too late. But I did get a new doctor. But sometimes it's not always that easy just to, you know, get a new doctor. And then I challenge anyone to say, just get a new doctor. Know how about the doctor listens to the patient and addresses what they need to do, and instead of us changing, you know, like you said before, these doctors go to medical school, and this is what they want to do. This is what they're supposed to do. This is what they went to school for all those years, to service people in the medical field. And you should be able to hear someone when they says, I'm having pain, I'm aching, I'm doing this and that. Because if you think about it in the context of like I mean, I didn't want to get into, you know, to take up too much time, but if you're an employer to take up too much time, but give me some tests so we can find, because I got to a point where I was like very angry and infuriated trying to figure out what's going on inside of my body. I'm like, I pay my insurance every month, then I pay your copay, I'm paying you money, like service me. This is your job, this is what you're supposed to do. And I did do a complaint about her. I did write a complaint about her and send it to the board and everything like that. But instead of that, we need to challenge these doctors to do their job more effectively. Absolutely. Because I do have to question, because one thing she said to me that made me feel like she treated me like that because I was a Black woman is she said to me, with my lifestyle change, before she asked me about what I was eating and taking care of my health, she said, well, maybe if you guys stop eating all these Cheetos and all these Doritos and things, then maybe, you know, you wouldn't be gaining weight and you would feel better. And I said, who are you guys? And then she said, oh, you Americans, which I still was offended as American, but I feel like it was deeper than what she was trying to say. And I told her, that, well, you have been listening to me all of this time. Every time I come and see you and we have discussion, I don't eat Cheetos, I don't eat Doritos, I'm a plant-based eater, I don't eat anything made from any animal products at all. So you guys eating these type of foods. I'm not in that category. And I told her, and I did send that in an email that I was able to attach to the complaint I had. I said, I'm offended that you said that as an American citizen, because not all Americans eat that way. And I'm strongly offended, and that is a discriminatory remark that you made against a whole group of people based on a country they come from. So
And
we
you
just
know, it's
have to
funny.
have these doctors.
Absolutely. So in that, we do have networks, and the plans that you select. So sometimes you can get PPO, and you're supposed to be able to go wherever you want to. And even still, I still feel like there's still limits to that actual, those type of programs, or the type of medical plan that you have, right? Because there's still things that you still not privy to. So you still have to hold people accountable. Like I said, I hold them accountable. I had a dentist, who was rude. He felt, first of all, you're running behind. I'm not running behind. I'm on time. You're running behind, but since you are of a different ethnicity, you think it's okay for you to say and treat me and make me feel like, well, I'm getting on your nerves because I still want I want my teeth clean. But since I'm challenging you to say, well, are you going to do it or not? You got an attitude. And already when you come in there with that attitude, now I'm in that field. Now I'm just like, okay, I'm feeling you. I'm matching energy. Right? You come in here with an attitude and you think you're going to work in my mouth? No. Now, not only am I going to get up and leave, I'm going to tell you that you're rude and you out of order. And then I'm going to write a letter to my insurance company and put a complaint in against you before, because how you treated me, right? So that everybody else knows that this doctor is not the friendliest doctor and should not be part of the plan. My thing is to get them removed from the plan. Why are they here? They are not even servicing me, and you're taking money out of my check every 2 weeks for a plan that I can't even use effectively because the doctors that you choose to put in this network are not fulfilling and doing what they need to do to heal or take care of the things that I need done for my body, right? So I challenge my insurance company, like, get rid of them. Why are they even here? Because if you don't, I'm going to blast their names. So one or the other, and I'm going to blast yours too. Like, I don't think it's fair. And I think as far as women of color, men of color, I just feel like, just stand your ground sometimes. Sometimes you have to hold people accountable. If you got the wrong thing at the drive-thru, you turning around going back. I know I do, right? So why not turn around and go back and hold somebody else accountable for the things that you're actually paying out of your check every 2 weeks to hold? They're at home living. They could care less. They're at home living. While you still at home with the sickness and the ailment that you came in to get, to be looked at prior, right? And then you still at home sick and they at home living, not being held accountable. No, this is I think 2024 is, I'm gonna hold you accountable. Yeah, I think God is just blasting folks. You just seeing folks just coming out, people just being thrown out there and held accountable. Right? This is the season of recompense. Right? This is quick turnaround. He doing a quick work and things and holding people accountable to a high standard, because you cannot continuously treat people and do any kind of way in this lifetime. Right? And I just think that. So if you guys with the networks, like I said, I just would have held her accountable. Like Samantha said, she wrote a letter. Like, I would be on her heels. Like, I would be, every time she turned around, be a letter for me, or just before the board. I think you need to reevaluate her and her performance. You went through surgery like that, and it could have been avoided 3 years ago. Oh no, right? So what Samantha did was get on her, right? What you say, Sam?
I did. I wrote a complaint. I wrote a letter. I definitely share with my whole network, my sorority, everyone, what this lady did, and I've been sharing on different platforms, and even, saying name dropping about what she, what she did. She totally ignored me, and I felt discriminated. And like I say, that statement that she did let me know. I said, she's not even just seeing me right now as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's seeing me as a black woman. Mm-hmm. For her to make that statement.
So real.
Without even developing that, because a lot of these doctors don't take the time to develop a relationship with you, to not even ask you that type of question, to not even address you in that manner. You know, had she taken the time to really get to know me, she wouldn't have even said that and would have known, well, Samantha's a plant-based eater, so she don't eat Cheetos and nothing like that. And then maybe she would actually been thinking like, well, wow, well, she actually pretty healthy. Something might be going on then. You know,
Right.
let me address, you know, this issue. And that's why when I went for my next doctor, I interviewed her and I told her, I would like to interview you. You came highly recommended for some of my services. However, because of what I've just been through, I need to kind of interview you because I need to know that you're going to listen to me. And even though she's a Black woman, I said, I need to know that from human being to human being, if I come to you, that you're going to try your best in what you can do to help me, because this is your field, this is your expertise. Just like if you come to me for yoga, I'm going to help you with yoga. You know,
Mhm.
I need to have this relationship. And I told her, I don't want a doctor who, when I come in, they don't remember that they saw me 2 or 3 months ago. I want you to remember me, even fake it with me to make me feel like it. Hey, Samantha, how's everything going? How's yoga classes? How's the business? Like, fake it with me to make me feel good, to make me feel like you care enough to remember who I am. And I'm not just somebody coming through the door. Build a relationship with me to get to know me. You know, that's the type of doctor that I would like to have, because we're dishing out our money, and this is expensive. This is expensive. Insurance goes up every year.
Does.
Every year. So this is expensive. I need you to know when I come in, hey, Samantha, how you doing? I don't want you to be like, okay, and you are again. That's not okay with me. I need you to know who I am. Ask me how I'm doing. Maybe drop something that you remembered about me to make me feel good. And develop that relationship with me to get to know, you know, who I am, you know, to have that comfortability. And that's how you keep patients too for long term, because I don't want to go to doctors every other year. I want to keep a doctor for a long time.
Mhm.
I want to keep them as long as I possibly possibly can. That's one of the things that doctors need to do, is to build relationships with people. They got patients going in and out and don't even know anything about them. So how can you care for someone that you don't even really take the time to really know their name?
And it's funny because that's part of their residency, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they supposed to have that. That's why I think that sometimes they cheat on each other pay, but they're not as smart as we think they are, right? But you do have some. You do have, like I said, for the nurse that I had, for the breast imaging, she was like, "Thank you, Jesus," and she was a Caucasian lady. She just was like, grabbed my hands, was like, "Thank you, Lord, thank you, Jesus." I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." And let me just say this before we end today, guys. You don't have 5 seconds of praise. I'm not even talking about 5 minutes. I'm talking about 5 seconds of praise, of just giving thanks. We can go to a restaurant, right? Get the best service, and we tip, right? We tip the waiter or waitress for, a job well done, taking care of us, making sure we were good, food was good, attentiveness, that kind of thing, right? Good customer service. But we got, a God that we serve, right? That we don't even take 5 minutes to say thank you for the customer service, thank you for individual service, and the one-on-one with me, and the follow up, and in my dire straits and things that I'm feeling from day to day. I just want to thank you for just that one moment, just that praise, because stuff like this is really happening, God. And us having a platform, like I said, for me personally, to be authentic in my healing journey, mentally, physically, right, emotionally, um, and spiritually, right? You have to heal. You have to go through process in life, and I think I'm appreciating life a little bit different. Um, it's just no need for a lot of other things in your life when you are really dedicated to the change of being better, right? Like, nothing is perfect, not perfect. I struggle. Everybody struggles. But my fear is to, that people will miss this great opportunity. We have a caller on the phone. Who's on the phone?
Me, Linda.
Hey, Miss Linda.
Hi.
So thank you for the comment that you made. So go ahead,
yes.
Linda. Go ahead.
Okay, so if people forget that now, since COVID, a lot of physicians no longer have private practices. They're mostly based off hospitals due to the high insurance if they have their own practice. And they don't want those liabilities, so they rather work for a hospital and let them take the bulk of that. And people don't understand. I mean, I've gone to doctors and I can understand what she's saying, that when you see a physician and they don't know what they're doing, I've had health issues. I spent literally a year trying to figure out what was going on. I've seen 4, 5, 6, 7 doctors trying to really just get to the bottom of my health issue. But on the flip side, I was glad they found out what was wrong. It took a long time, but they did. The other thing was, a lot of times people don't understand when a physician makes you feel uncomfortable or treats you based off race, and you don't feel like, or you feel like they're intimidating you or it's racially profiling you, you can always file a HIPAA complaint. And I don't know if you know that.
Mm-hmm. But I thank you for, she filed a complaint. I would thank you for saying that publicly. Like, so people that are trying to, because I can't see the comments, but people that are actually having an experience in that, Linda, I thank you for sharing that, how many doctors that you had to see, right? And how you advocated for yourself, and then how you hold people accountable. Like, get them.
You have to. You have to. And even though you can have a PPO and some people have HMO, you still, at this point, you still have to have a referral.
Absolutely.
You're spending more money for a PPO so you can go see any provider. However, you still have to have a referral. And it astonishes me, because I'm like, wait, I'm spending all this money, but yet I still have a referral.
Mm-hmm.
When before you can just go call a doctor and go see them. Now, no, you have to have a referral.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the difference of having an HMO? I mean, you get more services under PPO. Somewhat. I don't even think that anymore because things have changed. I think you're just spending money. Yeah, doctors are not doctors. They just getting paid, and it's sad.
It is. Thank you, Linda. Thank you,
Hey,
Linda.
I sent you a link for the so you could be able to read the comments.
Okay. Well, Linda, I appreciate you. Hold on one second. I appreciate you jumping on and saying that, because I think a lot of people really need to hear that this is something that we need, right? I
Right.
hear myself once. You guys hear me?
Mhm.
So I have another one from my sister Sharita. She said, when I go to the doctor, they be saying, hey, Miss Lane. So I guess she was trying to say that sometimes they call themselves knowing her. But I feel like this. I feel like, so I guess she was trying to say that I can't read it because I can hear myself talking, so I can't read the comments, Lauren. That's why I was asking you to read them. I just feel like at this time, guys, that if it's something that we can share on this platform, and something that we may have missed today, if you inbox me and you let me know, hey, Michele, can you bring this back on again? Because Michele is like her second time and Samantha is her first time. But if it's things, guys, that you really want us to talk about relating to health and wellness, regarding to women and men, because men, I really need you guys to get your prostate checked. Yes. Get your prostate checked. Yes, absolutely. And the funny thing about it too, guys, is men get cancer too, right? Your lymph nodes, you get cancer too. You may not know that, but you do. I know some men who's had breast cancer. Anybody with a nipple can have breast cancer, right? And these are things, guys, that I know that a lot of men from the Tuskegee experiment don't like to go to the doctor, right? They don't trust doctors, but in this time that we in now, it is important for people to actually get checked. People have tongue cancer. It's all kind of cancers out here, people. Right? And you may not be privy to know what you're suffering from because you don't follow through. Like I said, your teeth tell a story. Your gums tell a story. Your breath tell a story, right? If you're not going to the dentist and you're not looking at those things that can affect your life overall, you could be suffering from things and don't even know you have it. Don't even know you have it. So again, like I said, I can't read the comments. Lawrence, can you see the comment? So Lawrence can see it. So we're going to work on that part, because every time I go on my live and I try to read the comments, I hear myself talking because I am on live. I don't see the comments until afterwards. So we will work on that part, Lawrence. We will work on that part so we can get those comments where I can actually see them and be more interactive, because you guys are responding. I see a lot of comments, literally. And if I get off this live, guys, and you guys request, because they had a request for Michele to come back and you request Samantha to come back and we have these conversations, please do just hit me up and I would definitely bring them back on and try to write the comments down and try to do a pre-survey of the questions that you guys might have prior to the show. That way that I could actually get those questions answered for you. But again, this is all about, I've been on health and wellness for a while, and I think it's privy to what I'm going into next as far as my next adventure of doing body contouring. But my body contouring will be so different because it's about healing. It's about the things that you're supposed to be taking and the things that I know Michele and I did have a conversation about vitamins versus liquid and that kind of thing. I think I'm on that kind of thing right now. And I could get with Samantha because Samantha is doing a lot of holistic products too. So I will kind of convert with Samantha. Look at God. So that doing these different projects that I'm doing right now, I am really like invested in education in these. It's just not, hey, let me get your body looking right. It's all about everything, right? It's how the organs respond to things and how it repairs the body, because the liver repairs, right? The liver is something that, we don't look at, but the liver is really tied to how you lose weight, right? So my thing is, if how you keep your liver clean, it heals, right? Liver. But it's all about what you're putting in it. It's all about what's affiliated. It's all what flushes through it, right? So I'm going to get with Samantha too. And Miss Samantha has her products, guys. Here's the thing. I put her link in the chat. And I'm going to put that on my platform too. I'm going to share it on my platform as well. I'm going to get some products from Samantha. I just feel like this, guys. It's all about growth, right? It's all about being authentic with ourselves and who we are and the changes. I'm 54. I want to see 104 and still be all fabulous and everything. Because, they always say that, oh, you're aging, you're getting old. But I look at the women in the Bible. If they had kings fighting over them in their 90s, baby, what's up? we living a dream right now. We living a dream right now. They had kings fighting them, okay? Nah. So anyway, so my thing is, if that's the case and it takes us to heal and get the right nutrients in our bodies that we need to surround ourselves. And these are the conversations that we need to have, bringing people on that's dealing with the ailments and dealing with the outcome and the survival part of it, and understanding how the body functions, even through having a sickness, right? So I want to thank Samantha and Michele for coming on my show, Tess. But I just wanted to put that out there that you could be smiling and people could take that smile and see you dancing in the car and never know what's behind the smile, of the rejoice and the giving praise at that moment, because you have been spared another day, another year to live, to breathe, and people take that for granted, right? You take it for granted, but don't. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining my show. Like I said, Michele Ballard was on again. I will have to take the comments. I'm sure we got a lot of comments out there, guys, and I will definitely take those comments. I might bring look like I might bring Sam and Michele back on it.
Samantha.
Okay, ahead, Samantha.
Yeah, I just want to say something before we close out. So there's two things that they say that sometimes you find a lot of purpose in your pain. So there's two things that I'm advocating majorly for. And so one of them is having your thyroid, a thyroid panel as a part of your physical from doctors. Because you can't live with, I take hormonal replacement. However, if your thyroid importance in the function of your thyroid. So one thing that I'm advocating with and working with political groups with is trying to get this into law, that as part of the physical, a thyroid panel is performed, because a lot of diseases and a lot of illnesses that people happen are contributed to their thyroid function. It's contributed to that. So that's one of the things that I'm advocating for. And another one is that I'm advocating for is, I don't like to call it I like to call it fertility challenges. Fertility challenges that Black women are dealing with in the realm of fertility, because that is one of the things that we are not treated well within that too. My specialist is amazing. He's very upfront and honest with me. And one of the things that he even, he's helped me with complaints actually, because he was very disgusted. And so he's very thorough with his patients. So he read through my chart and he said, one of the things that I want to help you with the complaint is that I read your chart and I saw that you saw a fertility team. You should have been sent to this for Black mamas who are trying to have babies and who are giving birth to babies. That's postnatal. Because what people don't know is that our counterparts, other race groups, when they get told that they're expecting, they get pamphlets, they get brochures on, this amazing yoga class, this amazing meditation. They've been getting this for years. But when we get our pregnancy test back, we're not getting that information. We're not even getting told that, how yoga can help, reduce your blood pressure, how it can help with the breech baby, how it can help with your labor, how it can reduce getting C-sections. We're not told none of those things when we go to the doctors for our prenatal appointment. So that's some things that I'm really fighting for, advocating for, and working in the community to do. And I just wanted to make sure and highlight those before we close out.
And you know what, Samantha, please send me the information and I will make that part of my platform. And you can put me down as a person that will be supportive, be a part of the organization. That's what I'm saying, unify. Like women. But I just want to you send me that information and I'll make that part of my platform. And if you get a chance, if we had, I would have put it in the chat. But just send it to me and I'll make it part of my platform. When we do the edits and stuff, that will be part of, just send it to me. And as again, ladies, if you like I said, I will be looking at these comments and I will be going through them and getting with Samantha and Michele if I have to. I'm going to follow up with Samantha, especially with the holistic and the good stuff that she's doing over there. But anybody, this is just a platform for us to understand each other and the things that we're challenging. We talked about so many things on this platform today. And it's all reality, right? This is stuff that we face every day, whether people want to admit it or not. It's other things out there that people, Linda, thank you for sharing today. There's other people that had other diagnoses who, shared how they had to go through several doctors to get the information or the diagnosis that they needed in order to heal their bodies. And I want to thank all of you ladies for coming on my show today. Lawrence, thank you too. That's my IT guy. And I really appreciate you guys, and see you next time on episode 4. See you guys, and I will, like I said, share all the information on my platform soon as I get the information from Samantha and anything that Michele has. I'm sure it was about the diets too, Michele, so much. Samantha,
I love
girl, you a rock star, girl. You a rock star. You a rock star. I love you so much.
I love
tuning in to my show. We are signing out for Mz-Parkah's, not ER, See you guys later. Have a good evening. See you guys. Love you. Bye-bye.